Hello my friend, welcome to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about 3 Kundalini exercises that you can work with for the vagus nerve to help rewire your body and brain from anxiety. So if that sounds like something that you might need a little bit of TLC with at the moment, then please like and subscribe to the channel and let's get going. So the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a crucial component to the human body's autonomic nervous system. Okay, it runs from the brainstem to the abdomen, and it's very much connected to the parasympathetic nervous system. So we've got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is all to do with rest and digest, and the exhale, our ability to let go and relax. And the sympathetic nervous system, which is related to fight or flight, action, the in-breath, and our ability to take action on something. Okay, so when it comes to yogic practices, our aim is not to suppress the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight. Our aim is to encourage the parasympathetic nervous system response to that fight or flight mode. So it's all about equanimity in the body. It's all about finding that balance. Okay, so the vagus nerve is very much related to this parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest inside of the body. So some of the functionalities of the vagus nerve, this parasympathetic response, are heart rate. So it helps us to calm our heart rate down and regulate the heart rate. Breath. It helps with the control of the muscles when it comes to breathing. The digestive system. It helps us to start to release and digest specific enzymes in the body that contribute to that digestive process. And when it comes to anxiety, you can probably see why those 3 things, right, if we were in a sort of like hyper tense mode and we're struggling to rest and digest and come into that parasympathetic response, the heart rate is going to get affected. When we're anxious, you can probably start to sense that the heart actually starts to pound. There's an actual feeling that comes from the emotion of anxiety, which essentially makes it heightened. The same with the breath, right? The breath starts to become very short and sharp, and it's not so full, right? When we are feeling anxious. And again, that's going to heighten and shift us away from that rest and digest parasympathetic state. The same thing with the digestive system, right? When we have the emotion anxiety and we get attached to it because we've got these feelings, and then it starts to form a narrative in the brain, and we sort of wire ourselves into this negative narrative inside of the brain and feed that anxiety like a sort of catch-22. Essentially, that then starts to affect the digestive system. And one of the reasons it's really affecting the digestive system is because the vagus nerve, like I said, runs from the brainstem to the abdomen at the digestive system, solar plexus, we might call it, when we're talking about subtle physiology, if you like, the chakras. And this area is our center of emotions. It's our emotional body. Okay, so any suppressed emotions, any emotions that we might have found hard to deal with, maybe anxiety, maybe things like shame or depression or any varying emotions that we've struggled to deal with, we tend to suppress them and we don't really want to deal with them. So they all get stuck in this emotional body. And then our digestive system also becomes stuck. Right? You'll probably notice it. The more anxious you get, the more frantic you feel, the more you start to have these sort of like imbalanced moods, if you like, which we all have, of course, from time to time. We're humans, right? But you'll start to notice, or I certainly have in the past, that one of the first things that becomes affected is my digestion. or is your digestion. Okay, so you can see where that parasympathetic response and our inability to be able to feel the emotion and release an emotion and regulate our emotions, observe them from more of an observer's space, if you like, can play havoc on our parasympathetic sympathetic nervous system balance, right? So that's why the anxiety then starts to get heightened, right? So these exercises that I'm going to show you today are going to help us to balance out the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And in yoga, our aim, or one of the aims, is not to shadow and cut off and completely dismiss the sympathetic nervous system, because that would be ridiculous, right? Because it's part of our body, and everything that we've got going on in our body is needed, right? It's all there for a reason. But what we do aim to do in yoga is we aim to sort of heighten the parasympathetic nervous system's response to the sympathetic nervous system. So we've got more harmony and equanimity going on in the body, okay? And that then starts to set off all the other functionalities of the body. Okay, so just a quick overview of how anxiety is affected by our inability to be able to come into that parasympathetic state, that rest, digest, giving ourselves time to process things, not rushing around, giving ourselves time to relax and work with relaxing mechanisms and modalities around this very busy life that we're working with. So just coming back to the body and allowing ourselves to actually work with that rest and digest state is so vital for us to be able to balance it. So actually shifting the nervous system can help to shift anxiety. Okay, so a quick overview. The vagus nerve, that it's very much related to the parasympathetic nervous system, helps to calm the heart rate, helps to regulate the breath, helps to function the digestive system, helps to regulate our emotional body, such as anxiety that we might be struggling with, and helps with our stress response, our ability to deal with stress. We're not trying to eradicate stress from our life, yeah? The body actually needs stress, and life is stressful, right? But our ability to be able to respond to stress comes from our ability to regulate the nervous system in that way, okay? So all the things that happen when we've had a bout of anxiety, short breath, digestive problems, heart rate, our emotions feeling really roller coaster like we just can't regulate them. 1 minute we're here, next minute we're here, etc. And then our brain starting to respond to that emotional feeling, that sensation that we get inside the physical body after anxiety, that we then start to go down a narrative that we create in the brain, right? So there's then a pattern of thought that responds to that emotion and responds to that feeling, that just perpetuates the catch-22 of keeping us in that stressful state, that nervous state inside of the body when we're anxious. So as you can see, the parasympathetic state allows us to come back into our ability to regulate, self-regulate and self-soothe, and find a little intervention between nervous, anxious, emotional state to, okay, now I have dropped back into a place where I feel in control of this emotion, and I can try and respond differently because I've affected the nervous system and I've affected the energy inside of my body. So for the last part of this video, I'm going to show you these 3 Kundalini yoga exercises. We're going to do them together. Each one's just simply going to be 30 seconds, and you can start to progress them to maybe a minute at a time. Okay, because what I find is when you are in an anxious state inside of your body, it's very, very hard, isn't it, to, do these full length yoga practices or commit a big amount of time to actually calming the body. So these very quick practices are really going to help you to be able to self-soothe and regulate those nerves and your energy so that you can command the emotion with a little bit more confidence. Okay, so let's go for it. You don't need anything. If you're sitting on a chair, you can do these things from a chair. If you're sitting on the floor like me, you can do these things from a cross-legged position, or you might even sit on some chunky books or a cushion or something like that. That's fine. Let's go with the first exercise, okay? The first exercise is a little breathing technique. We're going to do it for 30 seconds. Now, this breathing technique, you're simply going to be breathing in and out of the left nostril. So sit up with a straight spine and just bring your left hand down onto the lap, okay? The left lap. And you're going to bring your right thumb. So this might be your opposite because I'm sort of mirroring you maybe. Okay, right thumb to right nostril. And you're going to close off the right nostril and simply inhale, long, slow and deep through the left nostril, and exhale through the left nostril. Inhale left, exhale left. So it looks a little something like this. And you can go ahead and do it with me. Point the fingers to the sky, close your eyes down, relax the belly, inhaling through the left nostril, long, slow, deep. Exhaling through the left nostril, long, slow release. And keep going. Just taking a couple more rounds, inhaling slowly through the left nostril. Exhaling left. Allowing the breath to come all the way down into the pit of the belly. So without tensing the belly, allow the belly to be relaxed so the breath can go all the way down into that space. Last few moments. Then release both hands down onto the lap. Take a deep inhale through both nostrils. Hold the breath in for a moment. And take a big sigh out through the mouth. And just take a moment inside the body with the eyes closed, breathing normally. Lovely. And then we're going to move straight into the next exercise. So the next exercise is a little spinal flex. Really beautiful for calming the mind and bringing yourself into that parasympathetic response. So whether you're on a chair or you're on the floor, bring your hands either onto the thighs if you're on a chair, or maybe down by the ankles. So one hand on top of the other at the ankle. So you're simply going to inhale, open the heart space forward, and exhale, round the heart space back. Inhale forward, exhale back. So you're slightly rocking on the sit bones, but you're really sort of extending and flexing in the spine. So that's where the movement's coming from. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, close the heart. And this is not a fast movement. You're just going to do it really, really slowly and synchronize the breath to the movement. Close the eyes just for 30 seconds. You don't have to be precious with the movement. Just making it a little bit organic. And through this movement, we affect the spine and the energy that runs from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, which essentially allows us to calm the emotional body, calm the brain, regulate the nervous system. And then come to a seated position like we did at the end of the last exercise. Sit up straight, take a deep inhale. Hold the breath in. And then an exhale, sigh out the mouth. And just take a moment. Relax the shoulders. Come back to a normal breath. And then the final exercise that we're going to work with is shoulder shrugs. So we're inhaling, shrugging the shoulders up by the ears, and then exhaling, dropping them back down again. Inhale up with a little sniff. Exhale down. Closing the eyes, let's just go 30 seconds. So we're creating a little bit of tension, and then we're releasing the tension. And then inhale, scrunch the shoulders up. Hold it, squeeze the muscles in the body, hold. And release with a big sigh. And then relax the belly, relax the shoulders, relax the breath. Keeping your eyes closed. Breathing in and out, long, slow, deep. Just notice any differences in the body without judging them. Just become aware. Notice if you become a little bit more neutral, so you feel maybe slightly more calm in the body, slightly more connected to your center, if you like. If not, don't worry, it takes practice. And from this space, you might be able to watch the emotion of anxiety whenever it arises, or watch the narrative that it creates in the mind, and start to rewire that space. Rewire it for a sense of calm. And you can open your eyes when you're ready, and you can come back to these exercises whenever you like. And I hope that helped. Like I say, these are practices that take time. Okay, but just noticing that if any of those practices were something that you thought, right, that actually really did help, even if it was just one of them, yeah, you can bring that into your day just for 30 seconds or 1 minute and allow yourself to be able to become the commander of that emotion over time. okay, and allow yourself to come back into that more restful and digestful state. Okay, lots of love everybody, and thank you so much for joining me in this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.